It's a tough ask for Gareth Southgate's men as they make their travels over to Qatar in the winter of 2022, but we can definitely do it. We're slightly down the table in favourites to win the competition, but as they say, no dog or horse knows their price. But for England, we do know because we're very mindful of it. Nonetheless, we want to know, is it coming home for Christmas? And more importantly, is it coming home for Queen Elizabeth and King Charles, who will very, very soon be crowned King of England? Now, to start off, I think it was suiting to kickstart things with goalkeepers. This year, including our 28-man squad that Gareth has picked, he's only gone with 3 goalkeepers. That is consisting of Dean Henderson, Nick Pope and Aaron Ramsdale. Henderson's had an okay start at Nottingham Forest in his first year and career there. He's been an influential part of the changing room, popping up with big saves at penalty moments, keeping them in the game consistently. However, we'd probably see him as more of the number 3 goalkeeper if he was to visit the World Cup this year. Number 2, we would go with Nick Pope. He's had a very, very, very good flourishing start at Newcastle. He's what we would class as a fan favourite of the Toon. However, he's sitting 10th place, and granted he is the third. He's basically put Newcastle at 10th place because he has kept out so many goals. I think I read that he has the third best keeping goals out statistic amongst the league, which is a fantastic effort. However, whoever goes one better should probably deserve the number 1 goalkeeper, and that is Aaron Ramsdale for us. He will be going in our Sporting 11. Ramsdale has impressed since going through his double relegation, both with Bournemouth and with Sheffield United, and it was almost a shock to go to Arsenal instantly, as well as going over the top of experienced goalkeeper Bernd Leno. But since then, he's improved in abundance. He has shocked the world, basically. And he has definitely proved me wrong, which is what I really want. I don't hold expectations when I see players to start with. I like to let them show me what they're doing. And he's definitely done that. And he's basically become my favourite goalkeeper other than Jordan Pickford, because he's got a bit of character about him. But for that reason, we've got Ramsdale in at number 1. We're including Reece James in one of our Sporting 11, simply because his fantastic start to his Chelsea season during 2022 and 2023, and off the back of 21 season, has been nothing short of excellent. The opportunities he creates, the amount of assists he picks up, including goals as well. The boy can shoot. We're also going with another former Chelsea player, and that goes by Fikayo Tomori, who I believe plays at AC Milan at the moment. His youth, his pace, along with Reece James alongside him, and the other, which we'll get onto in just a moment, will, I think, slot really nicely in there. His physicality will be ever present, and he's coming on leaps and bounds in the Italian leagues. And for that reason, he just sort of slots nicely into our formation, which for this we're doing 3-4-2-1, which can be, or 3-4-1-2 rather, which can be turned around into a 3-4-3, or you can do a bit of shuffling and do a 4-3-3 if you like, but we prefer this back three just because of how strong it looks to me. And Tomori will also be accompanied by John Stones. Stones, he has very, very good international form. Back when he was playing in the World Cup back in Russia, I think he was probably in the form of his life. He was scoring goals, he was in the right positions at the right time, and he never looked out of place at all. And since then he sort of had a rough start to get back into the Man City side, where he was out occasionally. People thought that he was awful at the time, but since then he's cemented his place in Pep's side, and Pep really likes him. That clearly shows because he's been there at the club since 2016. As well as that, he can score goals both with his feet and his head. Now, similar to what Southgate has amongst his setup, we've gone with a midfield four, just a straight four, no type of diamond. nothing like that, nothing too complex. However, we're including 2 players which we feel should belong in this year's World Cup squad. 2 of those come from Leicester's ranks, and as well as that, Chelsea. Now, on the right mid-seam, we've got Conor Gallagher. He had a fantastic start to the season, back in the 21 era, especially in his campaign. He was scoring goals, he was assisting, but he's also very unexperienced for his age. He hasn't really been given the opportunity at Chelsea, but since then, arguably, he's probably been one of Chelsea's more exciting players in a bit more of a quiet period for them. He, understandably, when you get double yellow carded and red carded, it becomes a problem for both your confidence and your game time. But the actual talent and quality that he could bring to this England squad, he's already shown that as a part of our England team back when he had selected him before. But now he's decided to drop him into the under-21s, which you won't have a problem doing, because to represent your country is a fantastic honour. But I feel like he should belong here. And another one of those is James Maddison. Now, this could be a questionable pick because a lot of people might not like him. But I will give him his due. He has come back from his Brendan Rodgers lesson, as well as that from when he was messing around, basically, and not treating his lifestyle how he should. He's come back. He's been a pivotal player in Leicester's campaign. Granted, they've not had the best of seasons, especially under Brendan Rodgers, who's a fantastic manager. He essentially is carrying the weight on his shoulders, both for Brendan and for all of his other players, by putting in these top performances, and he's looking a fantastic character, both in the dressing room. You've seen it in interviews. He seems to have grown up and matured, and I think both with his set piece ability and our third pick, which is James Ward-Prowse, who is a proven leader and a proper captain at Southampton, having those types of players, stand behind a ball in front of a wall and potentially whip it over the wall into the top corner, Beckham-esque. We need those types of players when we go to Qatar. And yes, we do have James Ward-Prowse, but I see Declan Rice as more of a defensive midfielder. That's fine. Calvin Phillips, defensive midfielder. Mason Mount, I think he's overrated and shouldn't be anywhere near the England squad with the types of performances he's put in, the stats that show that as well and back it up. I just don't think he's good enough for England at the moment, and he really needs to start proving himself at Chelsea. And once again, we're on the move. We're doing our strike partnership now, Liam.
Strike partnership?
Well, not mine and yours, but England. What do you think about me picking Phil Foden as the number 10?
It's an interesting one, isn't it?
Why is that?
I mean, he's got the ability. He's performed well when he has been given the chance, but I think there's a lot of other names that probably got more chance of playing. I mean, Grealish on his day.
Yeah.
You can't contend with him. So I'd say Grealish, but I'd also throw Foden in there somewhere, even if it's on the wing.
Well, I've decided to put him just in behind the 2 strikers I've got. Southgate plays 4-3-3 or 3-4-3. I feel like he could probably play a left winger role, or right wing, be able to cut in. But either way, for just in behind Harry Kane, who's proven so far this season. Before he used to take quite a little while to get going. Son sort of found that plateau and been in a similar position towards the start of the season. As well as that, I've also put in Tammy Abraham, who I didn't think fondly of at all when he first started playing. But since he's moved over to Roma, he's looked more of a comfortable number 9. And if he was to play in a 3-4-3, he'd probably play as the out-and-out striker, the one that drops in, which he's done fairly well in the highlights that I've seen of him. Been getting in decent positions. His height obviously helps, as well as his physicality. And if Kane plays off him, or Foden, Grealish, we could have a very successful not successful season, but a successful competition. Opinions differ in football. It's the same for James Maddison not getting picked for the 28-man squad. This is essentially Southgate's final opportunity to pick who he feels is comfortable, who is ready. Everybody's opinions are going to differ, but that's our Sporting Ace 11 for the England upcoming World Cup competition. And without further ado, have a lovely day.